Hi everybody, my name is Alan. On behalf of the crew, I'd like to welcome you to another edition of Bridging Heaven and Earth. You know, the question really is, for most of us, or really in a sense for all of us participating in this bridging show, you by watching and us here, the crew and the bridging family, why are we doing this? What is the purpose? What is the intention of you turning to this station, to this show, to this YouTube video, to this on Vimeo, to wherever you're finding this show? Why are you continuing to watch? What is it about this energy, this show? Why is it calling you? What is it doing to your being and your heart? Why do we come together time after time? Why does everybody involved in this bridging crew and this bridging family make so much effort to make a really, in essence, in an imperfect world, a perfect product? That it can go out all over the world in a beautiful, clear and concise and inspiring way. Because we want to feel the love and we want to share it. And we want to serve it. And somehow, when you watch this show, that's what you want to experience. That's why you're here now. And that's why we're here. And the here's might be at different times in terms of time and space. But in essence, it's infinite time and infinite space. Because we're talking about love. We're talking about the connection between us all. We're talking about, as we say on every show, dedicated to the oneness. We're talking about that power that we are, that vastness, that infinite inclusive power that people call God. And we're here to share that, and we're here to feel that, and we're here to realize it. As individuals and as a species, now is our time to leave the past of the separation, to leave the past of fear, to leave the past of the finite and the excluded, and to come into the infinite and the inclusive. And that is our gift, and that is our blessing, and that is our opportunity. And that's why you're continuing to watch with the 400 million YouTube videos, with the thousands of cable stations, wherever you're watching this. If you're still watching, you want to feel the love, you want to share the love, and you want to serve the love. And that's why we're here, and that's what's so important now for us all, is to be of service, to serve the whole, to serve the infinite, to serve God, to serve the inclusive, to serve that universal, to serve that common good, to serve the root of who we are, to heal the heart of our separated planet, to come together as one, joyously and lovingly. And it's a gift, and it's a blessing, and it's an opportunity. And that's really it. And that's why service now and collaboration and creativity is so important. Because in our day, a human day, there's a lot of earthly hours and time and attention. And if we're consistently serving that singular being who we think we are, and not serving the vastness, the love, God, we feel separate, we feel small, we feel excluded, we feel finite. And we don't like that feeling, because there's something bigger, vaster, better, more loving, more powerful, more connected, more in line with our destiny and our purpose for being in a human body. So together we can. These things are making a difference. You watching this show, we doing the show, is making a difference. People are experiencing epiphanies. People are having experiences of literally going from darkness to light in an instant. because the energy levels are rising from you watching the show, us doing the show, and all those other light workers and light organizations and artists and musicians who are dedicated and unrelenting in serving the love, whatever the obstacles are, however many times they have to have a regular job that they're fine with, but they don't really love, they don't feel a passion for it, so they can passionately paint or make their healing music at night. All the light worker organizations that are, with volunteers, and people leave their volunteer service to go to a night watchman job, to go to another job. And that recognition is we're on the cusp of that as well. So this is just an extraordinary time for us to come together, to be as one, to be collaborative and creative together, to recognize that together we can bring that about in a way that you can't imagine, in a speed that you can't imagine. And so we here, honestly, from the time we get to this studio to the time we leave, when we shoot the bridging shows, we feel so honored and delighted and blessed and gifted to be able to be participating in this. And hopefully you're feeling the same way, and hopefully you're feeling that dedicated to the oneness, and will carry that with you into wherever you go, into whatever you do. And again, the guest tonight, Elena, is a spiritual teacher. She's a healer. And her life is dedicated to that, feeling the love, sharing the love, healing the heart. Somewhere in the 2000s, in the 2005, 6, somewhere in there, she had a profound inner transformation. And since then, she's studied with masters and teachers and healers and psychics to refine, to realize, to deepen that inner transformation. And she's become an extraordinary teacher and workshop leader and radio host. And she's, of Czech French origin. She speaks 12 different languages. So her service, her job, her destiny is to help people all over the world find their inner peace and fulfillment. And that is how she lives her life. That is her connection. That is her service. And the core of her teaching is energy healing and communicating with and as love, to communicate as love in motion. And her true commitment is to that healing and that love. And she's here to share her gifts and her experiences and her vibration with us tonight. And as most of you know, we also have, we usually show videos, on the show. And tonight we have a beautiful music video from a dear friend of bridging, Alan Weisman. Beautiful music video. He wrote the music and put this beautiful video together, Liminality. And we also are in the middle of this International Healing Art Project, which I'll describe more in a minute. We have a beautiful art music video that a friend of ours from Canada put together, Pat Peace, that's with Annapurna music. It is so beautiful and so powerful, just with all these incredible pieces of art. And about the art project, we're in the middle of an international healing art project that came as a vision, it came as a dream, as a healing, as an acupuncture for the planet, as a healing the heart of that broken heart, of connecting us again. To reach out to the world and say, through this bridging experience, through these videos that go out all over the world to all the cable stations, that anybody who produces a new original piece based on the theme Bridging Heaven and Earth, any size, any format, any skill level, get it to us here. We'll show it on the shows. We'll have art openings, art exhibits. We'll have a beautiful, beautiful website, Heaven to Earth Art, heaventoearthart.com. Go there. There are over 300 pieces of all different sizes, all formats, collages, oils, acrylics, glass, jewelry, sculptures of glass, sculptures of giant hands. I mean, just incredible pieces from all over the globe as part of that healing, as part of that acupuncture. And anyone who wants to participate is welcome. So we're showing two pieces tonight. One is from Israel and one is from Los Angeles, California. So join me in a short meditation, then we'll have the first Alan Weisman video, and then we'll be with Elena. So join me in a short meditation. Hi. That felt good for me. I don't know, why did you guys meditate out there? All right, so the first video is, I said, a beautiful, beautiful friend of bridging, Alan Weisman. Just sit back, listen. He's tremendously gifted and talented and again, dedicated to healing, dedicated to love. Liminality, Alan Weisman, enjoy. Hi, everybody. Welcome back. So thanks, Alan, for sending that in. Liminality, beautiful video, Alan Weisman. And the incredible piece of art you're seeing in between Ellen and I is by Hannah Lisa Omar. She's an extraordinary artist from Israel. It's called Bridging Heaven and Earth. It's an oil on canvas. I mean, just soak that in for a minute. Just see, the coming together. I mean, that's really the intention. You could just feel her, especially coming from Israel, where there's so much division and separation on the surface that, it's time we all came together. So, Hannah Lisa Omer, Bridging Heaven and Earth. So, welcome.
Thank you for having me, Alan.
Yes, beautiful. So at the opening, I talked a little bit about that, in the 2000s, you had this extraordinary inner transformation, this inner experience. Why don't you talk about, how it happened, when it happened, what exactly, moved in you, and how did that work?
Well, I always knew since I was little that I had a gift, how to heal people, but I really didn't know how to clean myself. I would hold on to their pain and to their energy. And it really, when I started to study energy healing, I finally learned how to clean myself too, so I could do it for other people more regularly. But my biggest transformation was when I was giving a childbirth, because that's when I sort of shifted and I got more connected to the earth and to unconditional love and to God, and it was the best thing that ever happened to me.
So it was in childbirth that experience just kind of brought a lot to the surface that you had kind of been hovering around with a while.
Yeah, because when you're single and you run around and you don't have children, your life is kind of different and you're busy with the material world and making money and business and studying. But once you have a baby, it's the pure love in front of you, and it just connects you to earth and to God.
And so from that moment on, where did it lead you in coming into where you are now, where you do healings and workshops?
It led me to be more spiritual, to really know what's unconditional love with no judgment and be completely devoted, and to give love and receive love, and to wanted to share it with the rest of the world, because my son is the best balance for me in the whole world. He really showed me who I can truly be and what I can give to the world.
And so when you see that, and feel that, how would you describe what, you want to, in what way you want to be of service, and how that service is going to come through you?
Well, I am an energy healer, but I'm also a communication coach. So I coach people, I heal people, I teach seminars. I also have my own show that I just started. It's called Elena E, in the Heart of Stars. And I basically invite people that are stars in their own way. Doesn't matter whether you're a spiritual healer, writer, author, actor, producer, athlete, but it's the journey you went through life and where you really fell down and were totally in the bottom, and how you build yourself up. And it's always through spirituality that you actually get up. So it's to share with the world that there's other people that went through the same journey, and that if you know where the light is, you can find it, because the darkness follows the light. The light doesn't go after the darkness. So there's always a way how to get yourself back connected to your higher self and to spirit, because we are all one. We all think we're very special, but we are all one, and love is unconditional, and that's what the message here is.
And in essence, we all are special in that connected sense. Yeah. So why don't you talk about that a little, and how do you bring these experiences to people? How do you go about opening their experiences?
Well, first of all, someone has to be willing to even open themselves. But people, when they are in pain, that's a sign of change. When you have any sort of pain, whether it's physical, emotional, psychological, pain is a sign of change. So we push the arrow through your heart and take you to the other side, whatever is your journey. We start with healing. Some people want to communicate, so you do coaching session, then you go into the healing, give them the tools to find who they really are and better the relationship with themselves. Because people always go and blame what the other person did. Maybe they are 90% wrong, but what is the 10% that you did that you caused the situation, and how can you fix it for you? Because when you change, everything around you changes. So I focus on the person, what I can change with them, not the rest of the world. And we go through the transformation, and Every person is completely different. Some people get it quick, some people need more time, some people want to talk a little bit, some people want to go straight to the healing. So I let everyone reveal itself the way they feel comfortable.
Mm-hmm. And you talked a little about, having tools and teaching tools.
Yeah.
Why don't you talk about that and which tools?
Well,
I do
do mainly the Yuen method. I started with Master Yuen, with Kam Yuen. He's amazing. He's been on the show. And I studied different modality. But the Yuen method is really, really very effective and quick. It's like your body is a computer from the 70s and you're full of viruses and they're blocking you from being at your best potential and being happy and having the relationship with yourself or other people. So we take the viruses out and programmate you with new software. So your new iPad, you can function faster and be more happy and more productive and creative at the same time. So we just clean everything because pain happens when the energy flow somewhere stops. So we just restart everything again.
So when you have a client or someone comes to you for help, when you look at them, can you see where the blockages are, or when they start talking?
Yeah, and I don't have to even see them. The way the Yuen method work is you tune into them, whether you see them or not, or you just know their name, or they are on the other side of the world, or they stand next to you. The effect is exactly the same. I know a lot of people don't understand it. I didn't understand it in the beginning myself. When I started to study it, I knew the feelings was there, but it works. And that's all you need to know. Because if you have pain somewhere, and 1 minute later the pain is gone, you don't need to understand how you did it. It just works. So.
And that works with physical pain and spiritual and emotional pain as well?
Psychological trauma, fears, phobias, relationship, blockages with money, negative karma. It doesn't matter what it is.
So can you teach the client or the person to maintain that? Because in a lot of paths, sometimes you can fix it, but if just say no. But if it keeps,
well, the main goal is to find out where it's really come from, because you can clean it, but if you go back to the same pattern, you're gonna be back where you were. Right. So not only do I clean it, I give them little tools how to do it themselves, but we have to find out where it's coming from so they don't repeat the same pattern, because then they're going to make themselves sick again. Right. So it's really finding the bottom of it.
And how would you go about doing that? With talk? Would you see it? Would you know? Would you intuit?
I can tune into people's body and feel where the pain is. I can see images. I can hear things. I mean, it's different with every single person. And you can test if whatever you're getting is the right answer.
And how would you do that?
It's like muscle testing, but I do it inside of me. People can do it with fingers or hand. I can do it inside of myself. And I teach people how to do it inside. And you don't use your brain, you just use your intuition and see where the energy drops. It's pretty simple. People learn it in 1 or 2 minutes, and it really changes your life.
So after they leave, when they would leave a session with you, they would have these tools, or a couple of sessions?
A couple of sessions. I would say every 5 years you need 1 hour cleanup. So if you're 40 years old, you need probably 8 hours. Now, a lot of people don't want to spend money on private sessions, so I tell them, come to 8-hour class or 16-hour class. You're going to learn how to do it yourself. You're going to clean yourself, and you can use the tools on yourself and others, and you save a lot of money. So the classes are really, really beneficial.
And your new radio show that you've done, a half dozen or so shows, what is the intention there, and how is it going? Why don't you talk about that a little?
It's going really well. I have had some amazing guests. I had Pat Allen, Dr. Pat Allen. She's an amazing relationship coach. I studied with her. Dr. Kam Yuen is coming too. I had Aurora Winter, who's been on Oprah and a bunch of Tonight shows. She wrote the book From Heartbreak to Happiness. She was amazing. She has the Grief Institute. I have some actors like Jayne Major, who's been in a bunch of Spielberg movies and Academy Award movies. I had Kelly Sullivan Walden. She was one of your guests. I have Mike Beckwith coming, Marianne Williamson. So it's going really well. But the message is that everyone is human and everyone makes mistakes. But it's when you see the light and you align yourself again, you can climb the mountain back again. It doesn't matter how many times you fall, everyone can get up again at any situation. And there's only 2 things in life. You either love yourself or you're calling for love. A lot of people calling for love because they don't have love for themselves. So I show them how to love themselves, teach them how to love themselves, program them. So when people are upset with you or angry because they're calling for love, they can land on love and actually balance themselves of you. Because if you're calling for love and I'm calling for love, we're just going to be stuck in egos and fight. There's no resolution. So you always want to be balanced with love and give love, project love, so other people can land on you and find the love for themselves. You want to hold the light.
Yeah, there's a plan. Hold
Thank
the
you.
light. Yeah, we talk about it as like being love in motion. You know, just manifesting that wherever you go, and just basically being that energy, being that unconditional, infinite, inclusive energy.
Yeah, and it's sad because a lot of times when people judge, it's because they're judging themselves and they don't see they're actually mirroring themselves and that the issue is inside of them. So I always say, don't focus on the external world. If you change, everything changes around you, always. Because it's your movie, it's your perception, you're the director. If you want to be in drama, you're going to be in drama. If you want to switch it to comedy, you can. So that's something also I do energetically, but also in cognitive behavior therapy, where I help people from negative thinking to rewire their brain into positive. And if they do it 6 months, they will not have any negative thoughts. They will just rewire it just like drinking water. So their whole brain will change and the way they're thinking and the way they project life. It's very, very powerful.
And with that change in thinking, their experience of their entire life will change. Right?
Yeah, of course, because it's your movie, you direct it, you're the producer. Everybody else is secondary actor, you're the main character. So you can change it anytime to any genre you want.
And so somewhere, for a lot of people, they have a similar set of triggers that keep triggering them back into the negativity or back into the... So how do we break that cycle of...
Well, you basically, between 3 months in your mother's womb until 3 years old, 50% of your programs are already set, how you're going to behave and react to the world. By age 8, you have 75%. By 14, 95%. So I break these patterns and I take the trauma since the time in the mother wound out of the people. Because in therapy, you can take everything 3 years up. But 3 years until 3 months in your mother wound, nobody can really take it unless it's energy healing. You can do it in therapy. If you take those out, then you have a chance to be who you truly are in this world and not have these programs in the box the way you were programmed. Because people are scared. They don't get out of their box. They stick one hand and they go back in. That's what they thought. So I just break the box in all the sessions. So you're back the baby, the way you were born, happy, without any fears and judgment and unconditional loving. And that's, everybody's born perfect. We just unfortunately by society and the thoughts of society get corrupted. So I break it down.
So it's like peeling back the onion into the...
to the seed, yeah.
Right. And so you find the results that people are having are if they're not instantaneous, they're very quick in
very,
earth time.
very quick, very, very quick. But if you heal someone, but they still don't know how to communicate or what they want from their life or don't really love themselves, they're going to go back to the same pattern. So it's a nice combination of speaking. I also teach men how to be male and women how to be female. Because obviously in this world, it doesn't matter what gender you have. It's to know what energy you want to hold. So I help people to also learn how to behave like a female or like a male and speak like that, not just be energetically shifted. Because if you're a woman and you speak like a guy, it's not going to really affect the result you want. So it's a combination.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, do you find that most, or that there is a good percentage of males that speak like females? And how would that be?
Well, we all have both. Women have a female body and male soul. Men have female body, male soul. But if you're a woman, you always have to talk from your feelings and ask man what he thinks and tell him what you don't want. Because if you tell him what you want, he's not going to remember. The list is so long. It's confusing. If you're a man, you always have to say what you think and what you want and ask your woman how she feels and what she don't want. And what can you do to help her
Already
feel
I got
better?
Confused. No wonder I don't know how to do
Yeah, so don't ask woman what she thinks because you're going to get her to her logic and you're going to have two men at home. And equality communication kills the intimacy. You have to have a female and male energy in a relationship. And it doesn't matter whether you're straight, gay, lesbian, it's really having two energies.
You know, I think we'll talk, I mean, I think we're at the time for the second video, but we'll talk about that because what I'm experiencing, and I think, you know, a lot of people are, is that we're coming together. So it used to be a male was like 25% female and 75% male.
Yeah.
But now it's more like 51-49, and how that affects
Well,
things.
you balance it. In work, we all male, and in relationship, you either pick male or female. You have to pick one or the other.
Yeah, well, let's talk about that, because I think that's an interesting thing, and people will be interested in that. Okay, so we have this second video, as I said. Pat Peace, this beautiful being from Canada, put together these beautiful art music videos of every one of these pieces that you're going to see was done by somebody all over the world. New original piece based on the theme Bridging Heaven and Earth. And it's Pat and Annapurna music is the music you'll hear behind it. So every one of these pieces was somebody did as a new original piece based on the theme Bridging Heaven and Earth as a healing for the planet. So enjoy. Hi everybody, welcome back. So that was Pat Peace, the music of Annapurna Music. So much beautiful art, and really it's part of a healing, part of an acupuncture. Everyone is welcome. The more people involved, the better the healing, the more powerful the healing. If you want to be part of that collaboration and that creativity, any format, any style, any size, any skill level, please join us. Everyone is welcome. And the beautiful piece of art you see in between Ellen and I now is Greg Lunger, who's a Los Angeles person, a good friend of Bridging, has been up to a lot of the shows. It's called 7-11. It's a photo montage of Greg Lunger from LA. Beautiful. So we were talking at the end of the first segment about relationships, and you know, it seems like now with things changing so fast, it's extraordinarily tricky, relationships. You know, people are just bouncing around, and you know, it's just difficult. So why don't you talk a little about that, because you know, that's one of your fields of you know, expertise.
Okay, so the most important thing is that you have a good relationship with yourself. So you have to learn how to love yourself and how to project unconditional love to the world. So balance yourself every day. And if people don't pray, don't meditate, or don't connect somehow to their spiritual self, they're going to get caught up in the hallucination of the world, the news, the radio, the telephones, the internet. So you really have to align yourself every day, at least for 10 minutes. And if you're a woman, you have to do every day 3 things that makes you happy, that makes you feel good. Even if it's for 1 minute, because when women don't connect to their feelings, they get caught up in their brain, and they only build to be 20% in their logic, 80% in their emotional side. So if they're too much in their logic all the time, they basically collapse because they're built to feel. So women really need to feel and spend more time to feel good and cherish themselves. It's very, very important. So if you talk to a woman, always ask her how she feels and what she don't want, or you're going to get such a long list if you ask her what she wants. And what can you do to make her feel better? If you talk to a man, you always ask him what he thinks, what he wants, and what can you do to help him do better. Because if you ask men too much how he feels all the time, they get confused because they're built to be logical 80% of the time. If you're an alpha man, it's 60-40, but they're still more in their logic. So in a relationship, romantic relationship, you always have to talk like that. Now in work, we all are equal. We are all building from our male. So it's I think, I want. So you have to learn the communication, because when you have equal communication, you kill the intimacy. The clock just stops. So it's contradictory communication.
It just stops. I don't.
Yeah. It just, yeah, because if there is 2 people talking about their feelings all day at home, man and woman, then the intimacy is going to be killed, because it's like 2 women at home.
But we talked a little about that in the opening segment. But do you feel that you know, at different times, you know, men were more warriors and men were more, and women were more
I think
nurturing, and we're coming into like a oneness.
When men get older, they become more female. When women get older, they are more into their male. It's normal because the hormones change. But what's happening today with the economy, men are under so much pressure that it's really, really hard on them. And a lot of women have high expectations and demands, and it's really not making it easy for a man. So it's really to understand that we all are going through challenging times and communicate with love. And men need to be respected. If you don't respect men, it's over. So men really, really need respect. It's very important.
But would you say, like, part of the spiritual growth and the whole, you know, coming into a new age in 2012, that more and more people are becoming almost infinite beings of a balanced male and female being, even though we might be in either a male or a female body, but in essence we're like a universal being.
Because if you're too much male or too much female, there's no balance. So you have to learn how to balance it. Be female with your man, be male in work, balance both. You know, balance male when you do projects, then go back to your female. So it's everything is about balance and to know the difference. So you can learn the tools, and what I do also with energy healing is I balance both of the energies and teach you how to use which energy where, so you can be aware of it, just like, you know, the difference between drinking water and eating bread. So it's just nice harmony and balance. And if someone starts to talk to you from their feelings, then you know maybe they want to be cherished. So listen to them, give them the time. Just really listen to the people and see what energy they're coming from and adjust to that energy in that time of need.
So, but would you say that in this balancing that both males and females could basically do anything? I mean, because they have the full spectrum.
Yeah, they can do anything, but it's to have the clarity, because if you do everything together, it's gonna create chaos. If you're in a romantic relationship and you're gonna constantly talk to your partner as a woman in a female language, he's gonna get frustrated. So it's to know the difference and what language you use when you're romantic, what language you use when you do business, what language you use with your friends. So you learn basic tools and how to be respectful to a man and how to be cherishing towards your girlfriends and towards women. It makes a huge difference in relationships.
Wow.
Women want to be cherished like flowers, and men really want to be respected. And when men get older, 60 and up, they want to be more cherished in their feelings because they're becoming more female. And when women get older, they want to be a little bit more respected.
So would you say that as people become more, just to use the word spiritual, and more in touch with their universal quality, that they become more like an old person? No, become more balanced, become more...
They can connect to both of these energies much strongly because they are already connected. So they come from the heart and they come from the feelings.
Right, so, they can bridge heaven and earth. They can come from whatever is
side.
appropriate at that time.
Yeah.
So that they're like a full spectrum being.
But even for someone like that, when they know the difference, how to balance it, it will make their life easier.
And describe balancing it again.
If you're a man, you always ask a woman how she feels and what she don't want, and how can you help her to make her feel better. If you're a woman, you ask a man what he thinks, what he wants, and what can you do to help him do better. Now, if he wants to be cherished for his feelings...
And do you think people are really clear on knowing the answers to those questions?
It's very simple, and once you know the difference, it really makes a better balance in the communication because there is no confusion. You come from more respect because you really respect the man thinking, his opinion, his suggestion, and you can tell him how you feel about it as a woman. And then the man can take, the lead and the control because they build, but they will always ask their woman how she feels about it. I have an idea, I want to do this and that. How you feel about it? Because men like to be in charge. If you compete in a relationship, it's just going to collapse. Men, we compete all in work, so in a relationship, men don't want to compete with their women. They just want a harmony and balance. So it's not to come two brains together in a romantic relationship. It's coming from heart to heart, logic to heart, from a man to a woman.
Interesting.
Well, you can try to practice it. It really makes a difference. It really makes a difference and make it clear,
And so you find, so you have clients or people you work with or play with, or however you would describe it, both male and female.
Yeah, and I teach them how to communicate, whether it's for work, parenting communication between child and parents, or romantic relationships. So there is different tools for each situation, but it's always coming from respect, cherish the other person's feelings, and coming from love. But have boundaries, because people always blame, this person used me and he's doing this and he's doing that. No, you didn't set your boundaries. You don't have to approve the people that you love, but you can still love them unconditionally. So if you don't set yourself boundary, of course they're going to use you. Because if I open a box here and put there $10,000 and tell you to take $100 bill and leave it open, it might be empty. So you have to have a boundary in relationship, in life too, but come from love. And say no when you don't feel like doing something, and come still from love. So people without boundaries get themselves always in trouble.
I have this saying, you can ask any question if you can take no for an answer. Because if you can't take no for an answer, you're not really asking a question. You're telling somebody something.
And I teach women to really learn how to say no with respect. But women don't have to defend or explain themselves in a relationship. If they really don't feel like doing something, they have to come from respect, thank the man for their opinion or suggestion and say, no, thank you, I'm not comfortable. So it's really cherish your feelings, because if you tolerate as a woman, then you're gonna bring it up later on the person. They don't even know where it's coming from, instead of speaking up. So it's really speaking up.
So you repress it for a while, but ultimately it's going to pop up.
I think that most of the time people get sick is when they tolerate. You can accept someone or reject him with love and respect. But when you tolerate, that's how you get sick. That's how women get breast cancer. Because they tolerate, they numb, they suppress, they don't speak up, they don't know how to say no, and then they blow up or it's too late. So I always teach people to communicate the same day about anything that happened. Make an appointment. Honey, I want to talk to you about something that's really important to me. Is this a good time?
You have to knock on the chair.
You have to make appointments. Because
people are busy.
People are busy, and you have to have a respect. So make an appointment. I want to talk to you today before we go to bed about something. Make the person right. You okay, I'm okay, but this is how I feel about it, this is what I think. What can we do to make this work out? How can we make our relationship 10? Right now I feel it's 7. What can we do to make it 10? Because I really want it to be 10 and work together. So it takes 2 people to dance. Communication is the key to love. And the only way you know you love yourself or anyone else is by the commitments you're willing to make and keep. So if you don't keep commitments to yourself, you don't really love yourself, so something needs to be changed. If you don't keep commitments to your friends or to your loved ones, then you don't really love them. So you need to look at that.
And how would you define a commitment?
Commitment is when you say, I'm going to be there, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that, and you break it, and you're constantly breaking it, then you know you don't really have love for yourself, and something needs to be changed in you. So you could be committed to the person that you're just talking to, or committed to yourself. If you don't take care of yourself, you don't sleep enough, you just complete wreck, then you don't love yourself. So something needs to be changed, because someone is going to get hurt by you not keeping the commitments. So love is all about commitments.
Mm-hmm. And so if there was one thing in like 30 seconds that you could say to male, female, infinite beings, people who aren't people feeling good, bad, or indifferent, what would you say to them now?
Really start to change yourself. Don't always look outside what people are doing wrong. Look at yourself, change yourself, love yourself more, and keep the commitments with yourself and make yourself happy. Because if you hold the light, everyone around you has the opportunity to follow the light. If you're in the darkness, they're not going to follow you. So keep your own light. Get connected to yourself.
And what we talked about the whole time is all the different ways that can really connect you up and keep you connected and do it on a consistent basis.
Well, I recommend meditation. 5 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes in the evening. Just meditate and think positive about the outcome you want and let it go, or pray. And then do 1 or 2 things during the day that make you happy. Align yourself, or fill your heart with white light. Whether you believe in God or universe, see the white light going to your heart and fill it till it's completely filled with love. When you feel that it's full, you can just go. And you can send the same thing to another person. When they upset, when they sad, instead of being there and arguing, just fill them with that white light in their heart. Send them the love.
Okay, if anybody wants any information about Elena, the art project, the videos, call me, Alan, 805-687-2053, 805-687-2053. Good night, God bless you.